Picture this. It's the late 1800s. Respected scientist Brown Séquard is injecting himself with, well, extracts from animal testicles. Why? He was chasing rejuvenation, that timeless human dream of turning back the clock. It sounds almost comical now, doesn't it? Yet that same deep-seated desire fuels today's multi-billion-dollar anti-aging industry, bombarding us with promises of eternal vitality. But if we cut through the noise, what does the science actually tell us about aging well, especially when it comes to our hormones, our immune defenses, our joints, and even our minds? You might be surprised to find the most powerful strategies aren't found in a miracle vial, but are far more grounded and, thankfully, far more within our own control. Let's start with the testosterone story. Yes, levels generally dip as men age, about 0.5% per year after their peak. But here's the twist. This isn't just about birthdays. It's deeply tied to overall health. Things like obesity, chronic conditions like diabetes and hypertension, inactivity, even depression play huge roles. The landmark Healthy Man study found something remarkable. Men reporting excellent health maintained strong testosterone levels from age 40 all the way up to 97. So declining testosterone often isn't the cause of feeling older. It's more like a check engine light, a signal reflecting underlying health issues. The signal, however, was pure marketing gold. Pharmaceutical companies poured billions into campaigns, especially in the USA and New Zealand, linking low T to vague symptoms we all experience sometimes: low energy, feeling down, poor sleep, weight gain. Online quizzes popped up diagnosing low T if you, say, fell asleep after dinner. These tools were often wildly inaccurate, with false positive rates sometimes reaching 70%. Anti-aging clinics jumped on board, often skipping proper diagnosis, and sales exploded 100-fold. Testosterone became a multi-billion-dollar giant. But the actual medical reason for testosterone therapy, approved by the FDA, remains very specific: classic hypogonadism, stemming from direct testicular damage, pituitary problems, or certain genetic conditions. Yet estimates suggest a huge number of prescriptions fall outside this narrow window. Maybe 25% of men prescribed it never even had their levels tested. Others started treatment despite having normal or even high levels. And most symptoms blamed on low T, aside from perhaps some sexual symptoms when levels get really low, show only a weak link to actual blood testosterone. Even defining low is tricky, with standards varying significantly. Proper diagnosis requires 2 separate low morning readings weeks apart, plus consistent symptoms. But studies show these guidelines are frequently ignored. So what if you don't have classic hypogonadism? Does extra testosterone help anyway? Well, the placebo effect is enormous here. One fascinating trial gave men seeking treatment either testosterone gel or a placebo gel. Guess what? Both groups reported similar improvements, even in sexual symptoms. Then came the huge NIH-funded testosterone trials, or T trials, focusing on men over 65 with confirmed low levels and symptoms. The results were underwhelming for proponents of widespread use. Despite theories linking low T to brain fog, the T trials found zero improvement in memory or any other cognitive function. It also failed to boost physical function or vitality scores. This lack of real benefit probably explains why 80 to 85% of men stop therapy within a year. It makes sense, right? If low T is mostly a symptom of other health problems, just treating the symptom won't fix the root cause. The T trials did show some benefit for anemia and maybe bone density, but other large analyses didn't find an overall bone benefit. Reparation? Slight initial improvement, but no different from placebo by the end of the year. And there are the risks. Taking testosterone suppresses your body's natural production, leading to testicular shrinkage and dependency. It thickens the blood, increasing the risk of clots, heart attack, and stroke. One major study, the TOM trial, was stopped early because the men getting testosterone had a 10-fold higher rate of cardiovascular events than the placebo group. This led to FDA black box warnings. For men without classic hypogonadism, a massive review of over 150 trials concluded the risks generally outweigh any benefits. It really can feel like a case of the emperor's new clothes. So what does work? Lifestyle. Major medical societies recommend it first. Tackle the root causes. Obesity is crucial. Fat tissue converts testosterone to estrogen. Losing just over 5% body weight significantly boosts levels. Exercise helps, especially aerobic and HIIT sleep is vital. Just 1 week of 5-hour nights lowers testosterone by 10–15%. Diet has an immediate impact. A single high-fat meal can slash levels by 25% within an hour. Those T booster supplements, mostly ineffective. Low T correlates with higher mortality, but it's likely because it's a marker of poor health, not the cause of death itself. Testosterone therapy is simply not an anti-aging strategy. Hormones are just one piece of the puzzle. What about our immune system? Aging brings changes here too. Immunosenescence is the gradual decline in immune function, making us more vulnerable to infections like flu and pneumonia. It also means vaccines work less effectively. Flu shot protection can plummet in older adults. At the same time, we see inflammaging, a chronic low-level hum of inflammation throughout the body. Gets a double whammy: weaker specific defenses and more background static. But here too, lifestyle is incredibly powerful. Obesity hampers vaccine effectiveness and weakens crucial natural killer. NK cells are frontline defense against viruses and cancer. The great news: weight loss, especially with exercise, can significantly recharge NK cell function within months. Exercise itself is an immune booster, potentially slashing sick days by up to half. Even just spending time in nature, forest bathing, seems to lower stress hormones and boost NK activity, maybe by breathing in beneficial compounds released by trees. So sleep, it's absolutely critical for immunity. The evidence is surprisingly strong. Regularly sleeping less than 7 hours tanks your antibody response to vaccines. Pulling one all-nighter after a hepatitis, a shot cut antibody levels in half a month later. Objectively, sleeping 6 hours or less makes you 4 times more likely to catch a cold after exposure compared to getting 7 hours or more. Diet is fundamental. More fruits and vegetables mean fewer respiratory infections. One trial found older adults eating 5 or more servings a day had an 82% better antibody response to a pneumococcal vaccine after just 1 month. Specific foods shine. Gold kiwi fruit cut cold flu risk in preschoolers and shortened colds in the elderly. Goji berries boosted flu shot response. Broccoli's sulforaphane enhances immune cells. Garlic seems to boost defenses while calming inflammation. Cooked mushrooms raise antibody levels. Green tea primes specialized immune cells, and fiber is essential. Dieses essential ist, flust evolutions etymology. Fiber feeds good gut bacteria, which produce anti-inflammatory compounds like butyrate, vital for immune balance and better vaccine response. Studies even show vegetarians have more potent NK cells, and plant-based diets are linked to lower HPV rates and significantly lower risk of severe COVID-19. What about those immune supplements? Often the evidence pales in comparison to lifestyle. Multivitamins. No consistent benefit against infections. Vitamin C only prevents colds under extreme physical stress, offers minimal help otherwise, and high doses risk kidney stones. Vitamin D. Inconsistent results for adults. Vitamin E. Carries potential risks, including higher mortality. Zinc lozenges can shorten colds if used perfectly. Right type, dose timing, but don't prevent illness. Vaccines, however, are a different story. They are public health giants. Annual flu shots are vital, especially for older adults, reducing not just flu but also heart attacks and strokes. Pneumococcal vaccines protect against dangerous pneumonia, and the highly effective shingles vaccine prevents debilitating pain. This theme of lifestyle over quick fixes echoes powerfully when we look at another common challenge of aging, our joints. Osteoarthritis, OA, the breakdown of joint cartilage, affects millions and is a leading cause of disability. The lifetime risk of knee-OA is high, around 40% for men, 47% for women. Yet conventional treatments often fall short. Acetaminophen Tylenol, barely better than placebo for OA pain, plus liver risks. NSAIDs like ibuprofen, effective for pain but carry serious stomach, heart. Risk up 50% and kidney risks, especially for older folks. Topical NSAID gels, a safer alternative offering similar relief with much lower systemic absorption. Steroid injections, only temporary relief, they accelerate cartilage damage long-term, and stunningly, high-quality trials show they're no better than placebo saline injections. Arthroscopic knee surgery for OA. Rigorous trials prove it's no better than sham surgery, has risks, and actually increases the odds of needing a total knee replacement later. The placebo effect in OA is incredibly strong, may be responsible for 75% of pain relief in trials. This explains why so many unproven treatments seem to work. What really makes a difference? Lifestyle. Obesity is the single biggest modifiable risk factor. It's not just the extra weight. Fat tissue itself releases inflammatory chemicals that damage cartilage. Losing weight brings huge benefits. Shedding about 20 pounds can yield results comparable to knee replacement surgery, but much more safely. Exercise is also key. Cartilage needs appropriate use. Strengthening thigh muscles consistently eases pain. And diet, often overlooked but critical. High saturated fat intake accelerates knee OA. Plant-based diets show significant improvements. Yintic is protective against bry. Specific foods show real promise. Freeze-dried strawberries reduced pain and inflammation. Rosehips powder worked as well as NSAIDs but safely. Ginger and turmeric extracts consistently reduce pain comparably to NSAIDs, again, with better safety. Topical oils like sesame, flaxseed, and olive oil also have supporting evidence. But those popular glucosamine-chondroitin supplements, major guidelines strongly recommend against them due to lack of good evidence. Collagen? So unproven. Finally, let's touch on cognitive health. Dementia, especially Alzheimer's disease AD, is a growing crisis, affecting about 1 in 10 over 65. But here's a crucial point. Dementia is not inevitable. Some people stay sharp well into their hundreds. Before accepting a diagnosis, rule out reversible causes like B12 deficiency or medication side effects. Current AD drugs offer minimal relief and don't stop the disease. Newer controversial antibody drugs targeting amyloid plaques have questionable benefits, serious risks, and challenge the long-held theory that plaques are the main culprit. Decades of failed trials suggest amyloid might be a consequence, not the cause. So, with treatment options limited, prevention is everything. What works? Protecting brain blood flow is key. What's good for the heart is good for the head. Controlling cholesterol and blood pressure significantly cuts cognitive decline risk. Reducing salt intake helps. Diet seems even more powerful than genes. Populations with high genetic risk but traditional low-fat, plant-based diets have very low AD rates. Plant-focused eating is consistently linked to lower dementia risk. Antioxidant-rich foods, especially berries, are protective, while antioxidant supplements fail. Saturated fat intake, however, shows a strong link to cognitive decline and AD risk. Other lifestyle factors contribute massively. Perhaps 40% of dementia cases worldwide are linked to modifiable factors. Avoid head injuries, quit smoking, limit alcohol, prioritize sleep. That's when the brain clears out metabolic waste, including amyloid, via its glymphatic system. Manage weight. Midlife obesity dramatically increases dementia risk. And exercise. It boosts cognition and levels of BDNF, a vital brain health protein. Nurturing a healthy gut microbiome with fiber-rich plant foods also supports brain health. Brain health supplements like Prevagen or Ginkgo, largely ineffective. Interestingly, small amounts of whole culinary herbs like rosemary or sage have shown some short-term cognitive benefits. So navigating aging, our hormones, immunity, joints, minds, isn't about finding that mythical fountain of youth in a pill or injection. That ancient allure of the quick fix, amplified by modern marketing, often leads us astray. The real science-backed path lies in embracing the profound interconnectedness of our bodies. It's built on the foundation of consistent lifestyle choices, maintaining a healthy weight, eating whole plant foods full of fiber and nutrients, staying active, sleeping well, and using proven tools like vaccines. This journey isn't about fighting time. It's about actively cultivating health and resilience throughout our lives. And the power to shape that journey, to a remarkable extent, it's already in our hands.